Welcome, Michael. Thank you for being the keynote speaker today here at Coffee and Natter, Birmingham. It's been a fantastic event. We've had over 50 delegates in the room. How did you find the experience?
It was awesome. I'd like to say wow. I mean, thank you so much for inviting me and letting me be here.
You're welcome.
I think the organisation that got set up is tremendous, and I thought the audience were very engaged and engaging. Really good experience.
I mean, I'd like to thank you. Obviously, you are a professional speaker. You are a paid professional speaker, and you've given us your time for free today, and we really appreciate that. And I'm sure everyone out there in the audience appreciates not just this video that we're doing now, but also the time and the value that you've given to everyone today at this afternoon's event. So let's go on to, when did you start speaking and what made you want to become a professional speaker?
Wow. Well, my first appearance as a speaker was at the age of 11.
Wow.
On Radio Nottingham. And I remember it because I was the only African heritage person at the school. No, that's a lie, there were two of us. And they were having something, I won't say when it was, but it was a long time ago. And yeah, the headmaster asked to speak, and the thing I remember is we are united by our diversity. And coming out of a living roadmap, it was really good. So, and I like the attention, so I've really been interested in this topic for a long time.
Okay, and I know today you talked about speaking and your elevator pitch and going from an elevator pitch to your keynote speech. Tell me a bit more about what makes, first of all, a good elevator pitch, and then how you then move on from delivering an elevator pitch to then going on to becoming a fantastic speaker such as yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, the key thing about the elevator pitch is it's short. The idea that, you could be in an elevator with Richard Branson, you've got 2 floors to tell them who you are, what you do, and how you can add value to them. And that's the 3 things in an elevator pitch: just your name or your company's name, what you do, 1 word, no more than 10 words. The fewer words, the better. And then the most of it is how you add value to the other person. And that's all you need in an elevator pitch.
Have you got any examples of any of your favourites?
Well, my favourite is mine, which is, it's a bit strange that I always say I'm a passionate, inspirational, world-class, motivational speaker, trying to get all that in my 10 words. And then I literally help people to go from an elevator pitch to a keynote speech with charm, charisma, and connection.
Fantastic. So communication is very important in today's world. I know a lot of us tend to be communicating using devices such as mobile phones, computers, which is very different to how you would have communicated, say, 20 years ago. Where do you think it's going? Do you still think personal communication is still very important, as well as being articulate, sending emails, keeping up with people on, say, Facebook and social media? Where is the market going, and what do we need to do to better ourselves in these changing times?
Well, the fact is that, let's take Facebook, which is a giant. I mean, who would have thought that Vodafone and BT would have to be scared of Facebook? But Facebook is now a telecoms company through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And the most opened, and read's the wrong word, the most open and appreciated content on Facebook is video.
Yeah.
And video, they get opened more, they get passed around more, they go viral faster. And what people are doing is they're sending videos of other people or other things, but they're not speaking themselves. And that's the cheapest, easiest thing you can do. Actually,
and that's where Snapchat's come from, hasn't it?
And that's where Snapchat's come from. And the young people, they've really bought into it, but they're bought into it what I call the illusion. So they're actually sending a message, which is the bling, I'm this. So nobody's sharing the reality today, because I don't think everybody's having a wonderful life and everything's fantastic and everything's great in the garden. So what the process I like is, how can we make people comfortable being themselves, in their own skin as well, speaking for themselves?
Okay. So social media is still very important.
It's absolutely important, but the video, if you've got to compose a text. Now, I've recently had a stroke, as I mentioned in the thing. So my texting ability and my typing is not good. So I've been forced to learn to speak to my phone. I'm thinking, wow, why wasn't I doing this before?
Yeah.
Because the time it takes me to go, hello, dear, I'll be home shortly, and then you make all, then the the machine, what do they call it? Auto text or whatever.
Yeah.
It says something, it turns into another language. But when I click that button,
And you can send a voice note.
Just go bang. Hey babes, I'm gonna be home in a minute. I finished.
Yeah.
It really is the way forward.
So talking is still very much an important part of life then.
It really is.
I mean, before we go on to say what is the perfect sort of keynote speech, I'd like to talk about how fantastic you're doing after your stroke. So talk to me about that, because I know you touched about it during your keynote speech, but how does someone who goes through that still have so much confidence and ability to go out there and put themselves out there?
I wouldn't dare say I know the answers, but you see, you know what the beautiful thing is? The universe is phenomenal, and I believe everything that happens for a reason, and it serves you. Now,
well, it's like that point you mentioned. We are here today because of everything we've done in the past.
Hey, you're listening. Yeah.
I was listening. I might steal that quote. You might see it on Facebook with my face on it, but no.
Don't worry, you're proud. It is, you know. So, and this is another thing. I didn't say it today, but often I say what I'm saying now. I really, really, really believe. I really believe it. Yeah. But I don't say it's true. It's just what I believe, and it's useful belief. Now, if the fact that the stroke was meant to be something that was good for me, and I believe that, I'm empowered and motivated, and I try and find the reasons why it was good.
Yeah.
If I believe it's negative, it's going to give me different chemicals. I said it gives me different drugs, you know?
Yeah.
So I like dopamine, I like oxytocin, I like adrenaline. Adrenaline's a bit if you get the wrong time. But, you know, I want drugs that make me happy. I don't want cortisol. I don't want things that are going to depress me and also make it harder to heal. So I made a conscious decision very early on in my stroke that it was a positive thing. People around, but the physios, they got the message. And so people, what you send out, you get back. So I was being ridiculously positive when I had no reason to be. And after a while, people around me, now there's a negative to that as well. Because it meant that people weren't as helpful because Don's doing all right. Yeah.
I remember when we first met and spoke, when you came to our event, I don't think it was last month, but the month before, and you said you went out and spoke 2 days afterwards.
No, two months. 2 months afterwards. 2 days. Yeah, that was scary. But thanks to my son, my youngest son, he went on the train, he took me there, poured me into the room, and then the most amazing thing, when I got on the stage, the adrenaline, the energy, the drugs, the human, natural, powerful drugs that we all make, these hormones, they kicked in. And I looked at the video a while back, and it just looked like I was somebody with an arm in a sling. Yeah. And today, remember I asked, has anybody had a stroke? And there's a lady, Angela, was in the audience. Yeah. And I didn't know whether they'd be there. And she said, when did you have your stroke? 31 years ago. Wow. Now, I'm going to connect with her because she was great. And I want to find out from her, what did you do? How did you get along? Yeah. So, and as I said to the audience, I work in the world where I believe the audience is my resource. Yeah. They're there for me, and I'm there for them. And then, you were there. Some magical things happened. You know. Exactly. Really...
Okay, so let's move on to what makes the perfect keynote speech.
Again, I daren't say that I am the authority because expert. You know what that means? Yeah. X is a has-been, and spurt is a drip under pressure. So I never say I'm an expert. Okay. But what I believe, I don't know if it's true, but I believe that connection with the audience on purpose. I'll break that down. So whatever you do, you connect. The keynote has got to be connected with the audience. If it's for a company or a corporation, it's got to take their message from your mouth and your heart and connect with the audience so that the audience responds and learns something and moves in a way they didn't before. So a keynote is a special thing. It's part motivational speech, it's part sales pitch, and it's part entertainment. Yeah. And it's got to do all of those. That's tricky to do, but it's really easy when you are on purpose. Yeah. And that, as I said in the speech, you have a purpose. My purpose is to get people communicating on purpose, not accidentally. As I said with the elevator pitch, if every time you do the elevator pitch you're in sales mode, you're in tell mode, or you're not comfortable, it's very difficult to connect because you're not looking, you're not listening. But once you've said it, over and over again, the same elevator pitch. And we did a few examples, didn't we, today? One was where the salesperson said his purpose was to give his clients comfort in times of disaster or bad times.
Yeah.
And that's so much better. So as a keynote, it's how can you use your words, ABC, grab the attention, bang, we're here in the room, wake up, give them some amazing information, some facts and figures, and you're speeding, you're punching, because you want to, wow, it's in the room. That's over. Then you get to the body of your meat, the meat in the sandwich. In fact, a lady was a cake maker, and I said we could even use, again, a metaphor. The opening is the icing on the cake. Yeah. It's pretty, it's lovely, but it can't be all icing. Icing. The body of the cake is the flour, the sugar. But you're not going to sit there and, if you told us, I make cakes and I put and gives you all the ingredients, you're going to be able to sleep. Yeah. So you've got to put the icing on. It's got to be nice, but you've got to put enough of the ingredients so they know we use healthy wholemeal flour. We use a special brown sugar that has all the nutrients still in it. We have halal ingredients. And then you start once you got it, and then the call to action. What does the organisation, what does the sponsor, what do they want the audience to do as a result of the message? Yeah. What is the call to action? The lady we spoke with the cake, she creates a phenomenal day. That wedding day. What is the centerpiece of the wedding day? The cake. So you could sell the cake, the icing, the thing, but if you can sell, I'm going to make sure this cake, when they take the pictures, when they remember the day, that's going to be, wow, that's really going to make your day. So the keynote's got to have the icing, got to have really good ingredients, but at the end of the day, people are going to remember, I remember the cake that on that day, and you made our day. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. So just going back to engagement then, what 3 tips would you give? 3, if someone said to you, I'm looking to do a keynote speech, and I find it very difficult to engage with the audience. What are ways to engage with the audience? What would your tips be?
Right, I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first one is a trade secret. So, apart from the people who see this video, don't share this. It's a trade secret. It's a really nice tip. I learned this from a lady called Nikki V, who's a master coach trainer, brilliant lady. And I asked her the same thing. I've got this speech coming up, and I want to engage with the audience, but I don't know anything about them. I don't have got time to research, and I'm a bit nervous. Because if you're not getting nervous, you're not getting the good drugs, because nerves and adrenaline is nerves and oxygen. So the number 1 tip, arrive early and speak to members of the audience. Yeah. And this is what you say. You say, hi, my name's Don Smith. I'm speaking this evening. I'm speaking on connection, communication. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to know or anything you're interested in, or why have you come today? And you ask people and they say, oh yeah, I'm quite nervous when speeches come. Okay, what's your name? Paul. Okay, that's great. So Mary. Oh, I always forget my words and I'm uncomfortable. Another person, I want to be able to sell from the stage, and that's June. So you ask a few people and you make your notes. Then when you're delivering your speech, you're talking to this audience and you suddenly say, and earlier I was talking to Paul and he said that he had a problem with whatever I said, a problem with connecting with people. So, and I thought, Paul, do this, and you give the answer to Paul. Yeah.
But everyone else is listening.
But everyone's listening.
And everyone's engaged, because they're all looking for Paul and they're all listening to what Paul asked and obviously what the answer's going to be. So
it's real, it's live. It couldn't have been something.
And we saw some of that today, didn't we? With the likes of Aftab and some of the other guys that you just picked out and spoke directly to. But everyone was engaged and watching what the questions and answers were.
Perfect, yeah. That's my top secret. I don't like everybody using it though, because it's a pretty cool one. Another tip for engagement: ask. When I said ask, there's 2 in 1. I'm going to give you one. Ask is the first part of it. The audience is there for you. That's my belief. They're not your enemy. They're not against you. They're for you. Yeah. Does that have to be true? If you believe it, you'll create that. As you conceive and believe, you will achieve. Definitely. So if they're there for you, ask them. You say, "Hi guys, how you doing?" And during the finish, is that okay? Yeah. Did you get that? And it can't be the same. Is that okay? Is that okay? That will bore people.
You've got to mix it up.
You mix it up, and you ask them regularly. Ask them, or if you get a question from the audience, and that's why I said it's 2 in 1. if the audience, somebody puts down, excuse me, what's the price of beef in Canada today?
Yeah.
You could go, I don't know what the price of beef in Canada. Would you Google it? Or you could say, hey, that's an interesting question. Not good or bad. That's an interesting question. Does anyone in this audience know the price of beef in Canada today?
Yeah.
Now, they may not know the answer, but you've taken that question
and you've thrown it back at them.
So if you can't answer it, it's not just you that can't answer it, it's the other 100 people in the audience.
Yeah.
So if he wants to abuse you, I'm not saying it's going to be negative, but if he wants to be negative, he's not being negative, it's not the audience. If they haven't been asked, they can say, well, what an idiot, he didn't know the price of beef in Canada.
Yeah.
But if you ask them, and they don't know, then they're going to go, what a stupid question, nobody knows the price. Or, even more miraculously, if you understand, there's a book called The Wisdom of Crowds. Once you get over a certain number of people, you'll be amazed what the crowd will know. Yeah. And there'll be some little old lady say, that's funny, I looked at the price of beef in Canada this morning, it's $35.
Yeah.
So ask them. And in line with asking the audience, use the information you get from the audience.
Yeah.
So when they answer, people go, okay, so the price of beef is $35. Great, thank you, move on. You've missed a trick because that lady has just helped you out by giving that information. You go, wow, that's great. How did you know? Oh, I'm a beef wholesaler from so-and-so and I've been doing da-da-da. That's great. Does anybody want that? And you connect people in the audience. Suddenly, you use the question, you've connected with the audience, and you've possibly added value to everybody. So ask and use the audience there for you. So there's about 3 there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think we got there. I think the first one outweighed all the rest of them.
Okay.
But I promise not to share that with anyone else. I'll use it, but I won't share it.
That's the key.
Definitely. Brilliant. Well, Michael, Don Smith, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I think everyone really enjoyed today. I personally enjoyed it, and I've definitely taken a lot of value away from today's speech, and I hope people watching this video as well will gain some of your expertise and implement them and become better keynote speakers. Once again, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you.